welcome to my channel, Themakeupphase. So today we're going to do this beautiful Xmas Glam Look. As you can see here, I was very inspired to create something very wonderful and perfect for any kind of party or special Christmas event, as you can see. And can you believe Christmas is almost here? Like, it's almost here. It's only a few more weeks and we are all going to be spending time with our families and exchanging gifts. And it just seems to be going by so fast. However, I am going to make sure that you are prepared for every step of the way. So enjoy this tutorial and stick around. Okay, so now it's time for our primer. So we are starting with the NYX Photo Loving Primer. So I'm just going to take a little bit and then put that all over my face before we move on to our foundation. Okay, so the foundation I'm using is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation, and I'm going to take a little sip of my hot chocolate before we get started. So I'm going to use a flat top brush to help gather everything that I need and then begin to spread it all over my face and blend it all out. Alright, so now it's time for our eyeshadow primer, which is by Urban Decay. I'm just going to take a little bit. I'm going to add some to the top of my eyelids. Make sure not to get it on the lower eyelid. So just spread it out evenly and then we're ready to move on to our first eyeshadow. Okay, so for our first palette, this is going to be by Pretty Vulgar, and this is the Nightingale palette, and I'm starting with the shade Nocturnal. So with a nice little flat brush, I'm going to just pack that in all over my eyelid, taking it all the way up to the brow. And remember to be very generous with it. We really want this color to show through. Once I'm done, I'm just going to move on to my next shade, which is Breakfree, to add a nice white sparkle. So I'm loving all this brightness. It is just making me feel so Christmassy. I'm just going to add this same color right to my lower lashes, well, lower eyelid and lash line, just to continue this brightness as a whole before we move on to our next shade. So just clean it up. Alright, so moving on to Ace Beauty in Grandoise, I'm going to take the shade Jasmine, and with the smudge brush I'm just going to put that right under my lower eyelid. So this is just going to create a nice gold sparkly effect as well, but it's light enough that it won't completely alter it. It just keeps the nice sparkliness in there. Alrighty, and now to our Becca Apres Ski Glow. I'm going to take a little bit of the icicle, and I'm just going to add that to the crease of my eye just to really highlight that brightness before we go in with a really metallic color. Okay, so now moving on to the Pure palette, I'm going to take this shade Expose, which is this absolutely silver metallic color, and I'm going to put that to my eyelid, not crossing the crease of my eye. And I'm also going to wet my brush a little bit just to kind of pick up more color and really get this nice and pigmented. Okay, so I'm going in with an angle brush back to the Nightingale palette. I'm going to take that Breakfree again, and I'm just going to blend it all out from the crease on, just making sure that it completely flows from top to bottom. So I'm just going to build that in to the crease just to continue with this nice and bright and shimmer. I'm just loving all this sparkle. And of course, fully blend all of that out, and then we'll be able to move on. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of the cube from the Anastasia of Beverly Hills Subculture palette, and I'm just going to work that in to the inner corners of my eyes. This is really, I really am super obsessed with this color. I think it's a really great addition to this look to give it also a nice brightness and yet a little hint of purple. Okay, so now it's time to glam the face. We got most of our eyes done. So let's get this highlight and contour on. I'm starting with the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Yellow Corrector. And then I will also be adding the MAC Prep+Prime highlighter in Light Boost. And then blending it all out with my wonderful beauty blender. Okay, so now it's time to set everything. So all I'm going to do is take my wonderful Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation powder and begin to put that all over my face before we move on to our contour. Okay, so I was just kidding. We are actually going to do our brows first. So I am just brushing them up with the Anastasia brow definer. Really like this because it makes this product is it makes it easier to shape my brows, which is why I love it. And yeah, so I'm just going to work that in there before I move on to the Benefits Cosmetics Give Me Brow, which is my holy grail. Okay, so now for the fun part. I'm going to be taking this gel liner by Pretty Vulgar, and with a small angle brush, I'm going to be creating a winged eyeliner on my eyes. Just keep in mind that this does take a minute. This is probably the hardest part out of this entire tutorial. So patience is key. I like to frame the outer corner just to get kind of where I want the winged look to end up. So as you can see, little strokes at a time, and this is how you accomplish a gorgeous winged look. So I really like this because it really makes it so classy looking, and it just creates a beautiful elongated big eye effect. Okay, so now that I feel like I'm really loving this winged look, I'm actually going to add a little bit more. So I'm going to add a double little tip at the end, as you can see, just to kind of enhance this look a little bit more and just add a little fun to it, because that's what Christmas is all about, is having a little fun. So nothing too crazy or drastic, but it does make the world of a difference in this look. Okay, so now it's time to contour. So I'm using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil with a kabuki brush. I'm just going to trace out the hollows of my cheeks, obviously shape my nose, going to outline the corners of my forehead, and of course go along my jawline, make it nice and defined before I blend it out with a nice angle brush. Alright, so next is blush. I'm going to be using the Nars Orgasm blush, and with a nice tapered highlighter brush, I'm just going to put that all on the apples of my cheeks. Just create a nice little rosiness to my face before we move on to our highlighter. So the one that I'm going to be using is by the Becca Ski Glow. This one is the Rose Quartz, as you can see here. Yes. So I really like this because, again, I want to keep the rosiness, but I want to also add a little bit more shimmer. So I'm going to build that in there, making sure not to disturb my winged look. Just get that nice and shimmery and bright. Of course, the center of my nose, my Cupid's bow. Just gonna add a little bit more until I can get that nice glow. Okay, so now I'm just going to pop on some lashes and I'll be back. Okay, so now for our final step, I am going in with the Stila Liquid Lipstick Stay All Day in Vessel. So this is a gorgeous, beautiful Christmas red that's just perfect. Makes those lips just pop, and it just makes that Christmas season feel way more real. Okay, my love, so this is the final look. I hope you really enjoy it. I sure did. I love how fabulous it is and how pretty it is. And it's just a really beautiful classic look. And it's good for pretty much anybody. I mean, you can't go wrong with a beautiful red lip. Obviously, you can change it up. It's really up to you. But I mean, how simple is this? It's a wonderful elongated wing tip, a nice shimmery and Christmassy looking on the eyes, just to add that little sparkle and brightness to your face. So again, I hope you really enjoyed it, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Always follow me on Themakeupphase and connect with me on LinkedIn. And then, of course, never be afraid to leave me feedback, good or bad. I love it all. I want to make sure that I am putting on great things for you guys and making sure that all my stuff that I'm putting out there is relevant. So yeah, until next time, don't stress about these holidays, and I know it's going by fast, and enjoy the little moments. So until next time, my loves. Mwah.